Don, how are you?
Very good. How about you?
Hey, I mean, I would hug you. This is great, right?
Yep. Okay.
This is like
Yep.
the Don Harris dream come true.
It is. Thank you so much for supporting it.
Well, I'm glad we're getting her done.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to start here in just a moment. We'll see how this works. Okay, so let's see. So welcome everyone, and I want to mention a couple of things that we're going to do our Corona daily briefing update. It's short, and then we're going to talk about why we're all out here. Now, as a reminder, folks who are looking at me don't know that almost everyone here, as best they can, has a face mask. So our speakers typically don't wear a face mask so that everyone can communicate properly. So just letting you know. And then we're going to try for our pictures and our posing. Johnny, if you can arrange us in a socially distanced fashion with masks, that's how we're going to do the shovels and all this kind of stuff. So just bear with us. We are not going to stop groundbreaking just because of Corona. In fact, we're trying to do more of it. And so that's what we're doing here today. We're also going to take a little bit of time. Our city, it is actually, unfortunately, has been a rare occasion when we build a new community center. And so it's been a long time. We do a lot of renovations, and we do the best we can. But I just want to lead into what we're talking about today by letting everyone know that no matter if this is all over the community and we all know about it or not, building a new community center is a big deal. It is an investment for generations to come. And that's what we're celebrating the beginning of today. So let me go to some of our updates from our Joint Information Center. And a couple of things. Just to reiterate, the governor's order, everything kind of took into effect this weekend. All businesses open at 25% occupancy, except for those not included like barbershops, bars, and salons. Houses of worship open at 25%. When in public, wear a mask. And so I think I've got lots of great masks. Thanks to everyone for giving me all these awesome masks. So I'll re-gift the ones that we don't need. Okay, now also a reminder, in the International District, we have free Corona testing today at 9 to 5 and also Tuesday 11 to 7. No appointment needed, no insurance needed. And that is all at Cesar Chavez Community Center. And that's on Catherine and Louisiana. Okay. New Mexico MVD offices reopened today on appointment only. And so that's they reopen on June 1st by appointment only. That's the first phase reopening for MVD. And they'll accept appointments for transactions that can't be done online. Please look online first. Okay, we also want to mention some government continuity items. We're trying to reopen and keep open and expand some key government functions. And I want to mention that even before Corona hit, we were making major progress on our film industry. And I think everyone knows film and TV production got Netflix, NBC Universal, and this is driving our economy. The good news is it's one of the faster industries that will be able to recover. And so though filming right now is temporarily halted, we are taking this time to make the permitting process easier. And so we're encouraging industries to continue to use our city and remind them that, cities like Los Angeles might be closed all summer. We are certainly allowing permitting right now online through our film office. We're also looking at the former paper process. We're modernizing it, and we're trying to help boost our economy by essentially having film, everything that we do with respect to encouraging film to be digital. And so all that can be found at cabq.gov/film. And we also have a new film liaison. This is a popular position. She's our third film liaison, but is a credit to our past former film liaison is now the Secretary of Economic Development. And the one after her is now the film liaison for the state. So we've got a great track record, and we're excited to bring on Karen Criswell as our new film liaison. And I think Karen's going to share just a few words. Did she make it today? Okay, Karen, come on up.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Hello. As Mayor Keller mentioned, my name is Karen Criswell, and I am the new film liaison for the Albuquerque Film Office. I am really proud to be a part of this team and excited to be here today to talk to you a little bit about the new permit process that we are implementing to help further the reputation of Albuquerque as a film-friendly city. Like businesses all across the globe, the film industry has had to press pause on all of its productions in the last few months. However, we know that as soon as it is safe to go back to set, we are going to have a high demand for filming in the city. In 2019, we had a 50% increase in film permits that was due primarily to Netflix and NBC Universal studios being located in Albuquerque. One of the steps that the Albuquerque Film Office was taking to handle this increase in demand was to digitize the process. And this will accomplish several goals. It will increase the speed and efficiency by with which we process those requests, decrease the potential for human error, create transparency, and provide better data collection. Basically, the new digital system will provide a better overall experience for both our local and our out-of-state productions, all while supporting our primary goal, to maintain Albuquerque's status as a film-friendly city by modernizing our process. I want to take this opportunity to thank my team at the Albuquerque Film Office and the Department of Innovation and Technology. The Department of Technology and Innovation. I'm new, I'm still learning. So who worked together as one Albuquerque to create this new and exciting tool for our thriving film industry. Thank you so very much. Mayor?
Thank you so much, Karen, and we're so glad to have you at the city and looking forward to all we're going to be able to do. Okay, let's talk about why we are here today. We are here today to announce the groundbreaking of the new Singing Arrow Community Center. We're not sure what the official name is going to be, but that's what we're calling it for right now. And so this is very exciting. Again, a new community center and, of course, construction jobs, architecture jobs during this time when they're absolutely needed. Now, there's a couple of historical things I'm going to mention here, and then we're going to hand it over to the real champion behind this, City Councilor Don Harris. So, firstly, I want to describe where this is for a lot of Burqueños who might not know this area. You know, you can see off to my left, there's sort of the Four Hills area. But as a reminder, that's on the other side of the arroyo. Where we are is really behind Four Hills Shopping Center. And this is an area of town that around the 70s is one of our most densely populated areas in the city. And a lot of people don't realize this. There are thousands of apartments off to my right. And there are thousands of townhomes just right behind the Smiths right there. There is a whole lot of people right here. This is easily one of the most top 5 densely populated areas in our city. And it's an area that almost no one knows about unless you live in this area. So the need with that density also means the need for community space and community resources. And historically, we've had a little tiny community center. I'm not sure when exactly it was built. It's maybe 3 rooms. The team can give you the square footage, but it's been there forever, and it is just behind the cameras as you see me now. And so this is totally inadequate for this community, what is currently there. So we are building a new community center that is more fitting for the community. It's going to be heavily used by this densely populated area. Also, I want to remind folks, this is often referred to as the refugee village. There's people from all walks of life who live in this area, but it is home to a lot of our African refugees. And again, refugees who came here from the 90s on. Most of them are resettled here and continue to be today. So very important to provide them services as well. Now, there's also a beautiful park here, Singing Arrow Park, a shockingly big park if you haven't seen it. And now we're going to have an early childhood center at one end, a community center at the other end. And in the works, we do have some funding to create an archaeological open space site just on the other side of the trees behind me. And we continue to work on a broader open space plan for Tejeras Arroyo. So I believe that actually in the next 5 years or so, this is actually going to be a regional showcase for community services, archaeology, and open space for the entire southeast quadrant of our city. And it's actually going to be, I think, important enough because that archaeology piece. Folks are going to come here all of a sudden from all over central New Mexico, just like they do to the petroglyphs, for example. That's what the vision is. But we're combining it with services available for the neighbors right here. And that's what this community center is all about. So with that, just a couple of nostalgia points. This did used to be the easternmost part of my state senate district, so I'm very familiar with the community here. And in fact, that was my dream house. I really wanted to buy that house when it was for sale. And so that really doesn't have anything to do with anything, but just a fun story. So anyway, it has a really cool gate in front of it if you want to see it, giant Zia symbol. So let's see, some specs on this project. $6 million investment, 15,000 square feet. And fundamentally, this is also about equity. We've made a commitment to reinvesting in our communities that need it most. There is no doubt the Sea Narrow community, Western Skies community, this area right here is in desperate need of both services and community space, and that's what we're delivering here. It's going to have a fitness room, a game room, crafts room, computer room, and warming kitchen and other amenities. Of course, this is going to be run by our Family and Community Services Department, and Carol Pierce is here with that. And also I think I see Jess Martinez, I think I saw him floating around, who's going to run this. It's a city facility, so Pat Montoya is here. He's kind of the guy who builds things. It's also right next to a park. So there's a big Parks and Rec component too, and I know our director Dave Simon is here as well. Now, we expect this to be done in about 440 days. That hopefully will be a wonderful thing to celebrate. Corona hopefully will be a recent memory, and we'll be celebrating how we can come together as a community at an awesome new community center. So the timing couldn't be better. Now, I'm going to cut it short because I want to introduce the city councilor from this area, Councilor Don Harris. You know, Councilor Harris has pushed a broader vision for this area, something that I articulated, something that I supported when I was a state senator here. But to give him credit, he is tenacious on this project. Every roadblock he bulldozed. Everything in the way he knocked down. He has made sure that this is going to become a reality. And for his career in city council, in many ways, this is the beginning of a crowning achievement, something that will transform a quadrant of our entire city for decades to come. This is truly something, Don, you will be remembered for generations to come. So Don, Councilor Harris, why don't you come on up and tell us more about it?
Well, thank you so much, Mayor, and it has been a long time coming, and so thank you very much, Mayor. It has been a long time coming, and anything that's really worth doing in life is hard. Anything that's really worth doing in life has obstacles. Anything that's really worth doing in life often takes time. And it was about 2008, and I wish I knew this gentleman's name, but we hired a consultant from Denver to come down and help me and help the city come up with a vision for East Central. And he came and he's looking at this and he said, you need a community center right here. And the reason why he said is the same thing that the mayor talked about. He says, you have this archaeological site right there, and that's a potential treasure. It could be an outdoor museum. You have the Harris Arroyo right there. You need to buy that up and make that open space. And this could really create a sense of place for this community. And the mayor was talking about the equity and what's really important. And one thing that people don't realize, if you look at the map of what used to be Eubank Elementary School, is now called Janet Kahn Elementary School. For some reason, what APS did, they didn't know how to redistrict people, so they took the fourplexes and the apartments here and they bused them about 3 miles to Janet Kahn Elementary School. And so what that means is that this is actually there, one of the poorer neighborhoods in the city. We're up there in Fort Hills, it's a fairly affluent neighborhood. So the people here, they don't have parents who have jobs that can really drive them back and forth to school and go to after school programs and so forth. So it really helps them, these children who are here, to have a place for before and after school programs at a really first class facility. And also, the people in Fort Hills, this is going to be a place for them to have their meetings and do their yoga and do their Zumba. Same with the people in the South Foothills, as well as these people in the apartments. So what this community center is going to do is actually bring different elements of this diverse community together and interact with each other. And I think that's really important. So in terms of the long-term vision, I think the mayor hit its head on, that this is really going to be a community hub. It's going to be a cultural hub. It's going to bring together why we have Director Simon here is because Director Simon is going to be managing the archaeological site with the University of New Mexico, as well as helping us buy up the bottom of the arroyo. So all those things are going to work together, and this is really going to be and create a sense of place. Eventually, we're probably going to have a monument at the end of this parking lot so people can see it from sort of the east gateway of the city of Albuquerque. You come into the east gateway of the city of Albuquerque and you have this real unique sense of place. So I think it's going to be a great investment for the city of Albuquerque, and I want to thank Mayor Barry for supporting it, even though he was kind of suspicious or reluctant at first until we did a needs analysis, and it turns out that the consultant from Denver was absolutely correct. This is needed, and he helped sponsor and support this project until a certain point, and then when Mayor Keller came in, he picked up. So without these two mayors, we wouldn't be standing here today. So I want to thank you, Mayor Keller, and just thank all of you for coming, and this is a great day for the city of Albuquerque.
Okay, thank you so much, Councilor, and I'm going to hand it over next to our Director of Family and Community Services. She's going to have a lot on her hands because we're building 2 of these in June. Director Carol Pierce.
Thank you, Mayor. This is a very, very exciting day for our whole community, but especially up here in the Singing Arrow neighborhood. As the mayor mentioned, we have a very small community center on the other end of the park. And by adding this new beautiful community center here, we will be able to expand our youth programming, which is sorely needed with all the neighbors around, as well as we'll be able to expand our child development program and keep the building on the other end of the park. I think it's so important when we see our community centers around our community. It is a gathering point. It is a point of celebration, and it's where people come together to, whether it's Zumba or have community meetings, but to really, in this particular location, we will really be able to celebrate the special architectural findings next door, and we'll have information about that here at our community center. So we look forward to the volunteers that will want to be participating in that whole element. But thank you so much. Family and community can't do this without a really great team committed to positive youth development and youth programming, and I thank our Deputy Director, Jess Martinez, who's with us here today. Thank you so much.
Okay, and now let's talk a little bit about, we got a great architect and contractor team here, and to go over kind of the construction details, our Director of DMD, Pat Montoya.
Mayor, thank you. My role is to give thanks to the individuals that are making this project possible. So let me start out by thanking the Mayor and the administration for your full support in making this project move forward and as quickly as it can. I do want to announce that DMD is quite busy just this month. We are about ready to break ground on an additional community center on the west side, the International District Library at Central and Dallas, as well as Explora. So knowing that the economy is suffering today, we are putting about $70 million of work out into the streets over the next 3 to 4 weeks. So a plus for the mayor, a plus for the administration, and a plus for DMD because we're getting the work done, but putting money out there where it counts. I do want to especially thank Councilor Harris. I know that this was a vision of his that started back somewhere around 2009, 2010. It's been about 11 years for him to make this actually come to fruition. I was going to say that he had to beg, borrow, but he didn't steal the money that we needed for this project. So we are underway. We are quite pleased to be working with Criswell, the construction company that is going to be doing this project. Tina Reams is behind me, the architectural firms, Reams C and Cherry C Reams. I also want to thank Stacy Herrera, who is the project manager for DMD, but especially the community because it's long overdue, as the mayor mentioned. I remember when I was a CIP official, we just had the one building out at the existing Singing Arrow. Somewhere around 2004, 2005, we added an additional 2 buildings in order to make that a courtyard with additional space for the people from the community. So we have seen the expansion that has taken place. I'm quite pleased to see this come to fruition, and hopefully in a year to 12, 14 months from now, we'll all be out here with the ribbon cutting ceremony. So again, Mayor, thank you. Councilor Harris, thank you. And for the community, thank you especially.
All right, okay, so I think that's the end of our speak. Do we want to do you guys good? Okay. All right. Okay, so I think with that, what we're going to do is, let's see, are we doing shovels next or questions? Okay, so we're going to do, good idea. So we're going to do our kind of traditional groundbreaking in a socially distanced, masked way. And then I'll come back up here as well as Councilor Harris for questions. And before I forget, takeout was Wex. All right.
Mayor, this one's for you right here.
Okay. Don, this is amazing.
It is. Yep, it is amazing.
It just took an emergency order to get it done.
So this helped, huh?
We shaved 6 months off paperwork shuffling. All right, so let's do a countdown. We can all do that. So grab your shovel. And congrats to Councilor Harris. So we'll go 3 backwards. 3, 2, 1. Nice. You want to do a second one there? Yeah. Like the yell, Carol. Woo! Yes. Harder with the mask. All right, good stuff. Well, if folks want to do other photos and stuff, we'll leave the shovels. You can do whatever you want. I think we'll switch back to questions, right? Johnny, sound good?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. All right. Okay, so questions from folks. I'll just hold that.
We have one from Brian Laughlin at GOV. He said on the agenda tonight for the City Council meeting, Councilor Don Harris are asking you, Mayor, to analyze the distinction between essential and non-essential businesses, the ban on non-emergency medical procedures, and closure of outdoor facilities. Do you foresee having to make any changes that are not in step with the state guidance to reopen Albuquerque more quickly?
Okay, in general, question is kind of about council agenda tonight, an item with respect to reopening and sort of city reopening orientation with respect to the state. So was that for a councilor or me or both?
He didn't specify.
All right, I'll go first, Don, and then you can. Let me just say this, right now, the state order, of course, supersedes anything we can do at the city. So, and right now we're supportive of that, but we are ready to reopen as fast as the state will let us. That's a good thing. Now, if the numbers change in Albuquerque, we will go our own route. But again, we can't disobey a state law. So go ahead.
And yeah, I want to be very clear about that. And I see this on Facebook, and I try to correct people when they say this, is that they complain that the mayor's not doing anything. Well, the mayor is really kind of bound, and our lawyers told us that, by what the governor does and what the governor orders. And what our resolution does is would just sort of represent the will of the council to let the governor, let Albuquerque make our own decisions for Albuquerque. And so it's something that I can be a little bit more outspoken about than the mayor can, perhaps. But just as New Mexico should make our own decisions, we shouldn't be bound by what they do in a national level. I think that when we have very capable elected officials like Mayor Keller or Mayor Hull in Rio Rancho, and that we should be able to be given some freedom to cut our own path. I have a Facebook page, my personal Facebook. We've been flat in Bernalillo County for a long time. We're really doing well and probably decreasing in terms of our infection rate. And I think it's time, because every day the economy is open, it has secondary effects, which are also public health effects. People lose their health insurance, they lose that cancer screening. You see in the, there's been a story in the news about how domestic violence is spiking right now in Bernalillo County. So all those things I think are secondary effects of the public health crisis that we're going through. We need to balance both of those, and that's what Councilor Bassan and I are really advocating, is balancing one side of the ledger, which is the public health effects of the economic shutdown versus the public health effects of Corona, and we need to keep both of those things in mind. And when we open, of course, open safely. No one's suggesting anything else. So that's what I'd like to do, but really between the mayor and the governor, it's a negotiation. The mayor really didn't have authority until the governor gives him authority.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. We have another question here from Jessica Dyer at the Albuquerque Journal. Are you doing anything besides the digitized permitting process to ensure the city maintains its film industry momentum after this pandemic?
Question is, what in addition are we doing besides digitized permitting at the film office to accelerate things? A lot of it has to do with having the conversations, and so there are some things in the works that are preliminary and not worth sharing, but there might be some things that are. Let me just check, Karen. Yes. So do you want to highlight the other items?
Sure. Thank you. Yes, we've been in conversations with the State Film Office. We are looking at them for the lead on what the protocols for production will be going forward once production is open and ready. We are getting trained up on the new permitting process so that the moment that we get the green light, we can go back to production in full swing. So that's where we are right now, is getting that new system ready and ready to operate at 100%. So that's probably the most important. And once we get that green light, we're ready. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. We have one more here from Chris McKee at Care News. This groundbreaking sounds like it's happening sooner than it normally would have had it not been for the pandemic. Can you explain how and why the city was able to move up and speed up the project?
So the question is, about that we're able to do this sooner than was expected. And this is a good reminder, actually. One of the things that our administration did, and even a nod to the question about the city of Albuquerque, the city decided to, as part of our emergency orders, accelerate construction projects. So in total, we were able to push about $70 million that were scheduled over the next 18 months way up so that we could try and keep people working now. And again, that was as construction is used to all sorts of safety regulations and distancing and masks and so forth. So this is part of that plan. So we were able to move this up several months. And Pat, if you want to articulate a little bit more on that, or if not, I'll just, okay. So basically, this project had been in the queue for a long time, and there was always, all the work had been done. So it was ordinance, like it passed all the council all the council votes that it needed. All the contracts were signed, but we did have to sort of negotiate all the timelines and pass back and forth all the administrative approvals. And so like in other projects, we just pushed all of that up as fast as we could. And so this is part of, in some ways, us trying to lift up Albuquerque's industry as best that we can by pushing these projects forward. And so you're going to see another one Thursday with the International District Library. And so we are very glad to be able to do this during this time. I know in general we've shaved anywhere between 6 to 9 months off most of our projects. This one in particular, what would you ballpark it at, Pat?
4.5, 5 months.
Shaved off about 4.5 to 5 months on this one. Yeah, and I appreciate council for giving us that emergency order has been very helpful to enable us to do things like that. All right, I think with that, we'll wrap things up. Thanks so much. Appreciate DMD crew and all our contractors. And we're very excited to be able to do this and do it 4.5 months early. Thanks so much. Yeah, how often do you hear that in government?